as I work on the kind of outer ring here, I'll follow my typical pattern for something like this and do the outside cut first as one continuous motion on all of the chips to make sure I get a nice smooth circle. All the chips kind of line up and connect and make a nice circle. The one downside, as you may or may not be able to notice, with the grain going this direction, is doing this requires making against the grain cuts. Since you're going in every direction, it's a circle, so some of the parts are going to be with the grain, across the grain, against the grain, every which way. So as always, like a broken record on this these videos, super sharp knife is your best bet, but also moving the wood, kind of leaving the knife mostly stationary, obviously kind of pushing in and out of the chips as you go, but I find when doing this kind of cut and you're going against the grain, moving the board itself, keeping the knife nice and firm, helps to alleviate any of the issues that going against the grain tends to have. And these are mostly triangular shaped, but you might notice the slight bow that they have. It's not straight lines. The outside is bowed. So here, this chip, this line goes, it's slightly with the grain in this direction and then slightly with the grain in that direction, so it changes. So I'll remove the biggest chunk there. And I think I can just do this in one. It's a small enough chip, there shouldn't be too much internal pressure to cause it to rip out, but I will go with the grain in that direction. I'll just barely round that corner. I don't want these to be super pointy on top, so as I connect these up, I'm gonna do just the tiniest bit of overlap, basically not even removing any wood, ideally just kind of making a little groove with the knife as I go through, just to again kind of keep with that softening effect that the bow has and not make those edges too kind of crisp and, I don't know, aggressive. Would definitely not recommend this pattern, at least not at this scale, for those who have difficulty seeing or identifying lines on small chips. This is a pretty intricate pattern for the size of project it is, but that was how it came to me, so I'm working with what I've got. So again, here, this is the similar chip on the other side where it's got that little bit of a transition with the grain, so I'm going to remove most of the chip, and that just gives this a little bit more room to breathe and move without forcing it. That one did not come out so nicely. There we go. I'll just do one more. I won't go through the entire thing. It's all just more of the same. But I'm going to talk through some of those more interesting nuance of this particular aspect going on here.